A-dubs. Oh, we do not have as much battery. Oh yeah, we have battery. We don't have as much data. That's a memory card picture on the GoPro as I thought we had. But it's your boy, A-dubs. Hope you like the new intro. Was that sweet or what? Let me know down below. Is it too long? Is it too much? I felt like in the creative process, if I took away something, it was missing. If I added another clip, it would be too long. In my opinion, it was pretty good. I know a lot of people like to make it short and sweet, and attention spans are at a minimal. My shorts typically get around 1,000 views. My full lengths are like struggling to get near 100. So it happens. We're still young in the YouTube game. We will be coming up on a year in 2026's spring. So I'm not trying to waste too much battery here. I'm headed to the reservoir. And if you know one thing about your boy, it's that I love me some jerkbaits, okay? That's my favorite way to catch trout. And recently, as you will see, it is my favorite way to catch bass. Now, I kind of, sorry about the road noise. I kind of already filmed earlier in the week, wasn't sure about the intro. So we're doing it now, but we're also taking another trip out there because there was one more jerkbait that I wanted to use. It's the same X70 that you'll see in the first couple clips, or first clip, but it's in a different color this time around. And I did not take the front hook off, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start doing that with all my double hooked baits, because in BFS, like, it's so downsized that really usually the back one is what's in the mouth, and then the front hook just is in the way constantly when I'm unhooking. It either gets like they get double hooked and then I'm messing around with pulling them out of the gills, yada yada. It's not a fun time. So I will eventually get rid of all the front hooks. I might do like single in the back, treble up front, barbless treble always, because those are just a nightmare to mess around with. I was also on the fence about using Karashi, because I do like to jerk the Karashi. It gives it that nice cut and wag, you know. And I think it's a top water jerkbait, okay? But it doesn't have a bill, so I don't know. It's a gray area. Karashi is just Karashi. If you're into BFS, then you know that that's like the go-to bait. Like that's the first thing you throw for BFS typically, and it'll be in your tackle box for the rest of your life probably, or as long as you're BFS fishing, because I have 2 regular Karashis and then I have 2 Karashi IGXs. If you're not privy, the IGX is kind of, it's got a single inline hook, and what they do is they use shrink tube to keep that single inline hook in line with the body, and what that does is it cuts down on wag. It's a more subtle approach. I find that one works when the regular Karashi doesn't. I mean, I have yet to find a scenario where the regular Karashi doesn't work, but it's better in those winter times where like fish are lethargic. It looks more realistic to have a fish with subtle action than just wiling out, you know. But whatever, reaction strike's a reaction strike. And the way I use Karashi is, you know, I'll reel it, but I'm, you know, chopping and jerking that thing pretty much the whole time. So probably I'll throw some in there too. But we're almost at the spot. It's not far from home, so I'm gonna pause it here, enjoy the catch clips, and I'll see you on the outro. Here, this is the Megabass X70. It's a shallow jerk, but it's got a rattle in it, so even though it's overcast, oh, I see some surfacing over there. Even though it's overcast and raining, I feel like that rattle should be able to bring them in. And actually, there is no casting here, so I think I'm gonna go out over where I saw that rise. A lot of this is just rain coming down at the moment, but I think we might be able to catch something here, because I don't really want to fish this area because there's not a whole lot of casting. I was hoping, like I said, to get in that back pocket, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So let's move over this way, throw it out there, see what we can get. Casting is not the best with this bait, I could tell you that right now. It's kind of going sideways. I don't know why we're getting backlashes here. Oh, we got something. We got one. We got a bass. It worked. It worked, baby. Yeah, wow. I was honestly not expecting that. Good size one too. Nice. All right. So the jerk works. The jerk works. Yes. All right. Good size one. I'll let him chill out a bit. I did not really expect that, you know. Oh, of course, my fucking drift hook. Oh, he choked that thing too. Good thing I got the forceps. Look at that boy, just absolutely swallowing. There. Wow. Big guy. Yeah, you're going back. There you go. Feeble amount of blood on the scene, but good to go. Pretty sure. That assist hook, he just absolutely choked it from the front. You don't normally get that. Not ideal for hookup, but at least we got him off. And you know, that was a good 2-pounder, I'd say. I have my scale, but I was messing around too long with this hook, so I didn't want to hurt that fish more than I needed to. How did I get tangled here? There we go. All right. Yeah, there we go. That's what we like to see. Not a whole lot of distance still, but way more than we were getting. And you can do like little twitches with just the reel too on this bait, and it is sufficient. So if you're not into really getting the movements that I'm into getting, you can still have fun with this thing. But I think most of the magic comes from those quick darts that you get when you jerk. And I'm hoping that this translates to you guys. Of course, I would hit a bush on my backswing. Luckily, I caught it before I went forward. Okay, let's keep moving on these jagged rocks that are sliding everywhere. Okay. I think really what's happening is we're just having a ton of issues with the bait in general not being aerodynamic, and I'm sure if I take off that front hook it'll be much better. You see the way it's twirling in the air. Gotta get something with a little bit more weight. Probably that X80 would be a better choice. Alright, what time is it? I think we might switch to one more jerk style bait and then call it a day. Let's see what we got here. Well, I was talking about that X80, so we might as well get that one out. This one's a little bit more compact, so it should get me more distance. And again, that front hook on this bait, just terrible choice. I might put like a barbless treble, that's something that's smaller, maybe just a smaller single hook on that front so it stays out of the way. It is just being a beast right now, causing so many issues. Let's try. This one's got a louder rattle, more compact shape, almost has like the Karashi style body, how it's like thicker and squared up. So I don't know. It's got a louder rattle, brighter colors. We'll give this one a go, see how it casts, and I'll put in like 10 more minutes here and call it a day. This one feels heavier. Okay, we still got a decent rate of fall. Yes, way better casting. Way better casting. It's just got more weight, I think. I don't know that it's more aerodynamic than the other ones. Just and it goes a bit deeper too, which is nice. So X70, good for suspend, shallower water. X80, that's where we want to be right now. This is just deeper water overall. I need more distance, so the heavier lure is the better choice. Yeah, this thing just pulls line so easily. I don't even really have to try. I'm baffled why the fish are out deep though. Usually this time of year they are clinging to structure, and I'm fishing the bank and, you know, these downed logs and everything, and I'm still not getting anything. And the blow ups that I did see are really far out. But we're getting distance here with this X80. Should have been fishing this one as soon as I rounded the corner, got away from those rocks. Oh, yep. There we go. Another healthy guy. Just a small one, but still healthy. All right. Oh yeah, I knew you were gonna fucking do that. You bass you love to jump as soon as I go to release you. Yes, you love it. You love it, you love it, you love it. That. Ooh, he got hooked good. Oh, came out pretty well. Open your mouth. Oh, ew, he swallowed a frog. Ew. Get out of here, you nasty. Oh man, you guys saw that? Frog legs sticking out the back. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right. Let's try a few more casts since we're getting more distance now. There you have it. A couple jerk baits in the BFS round that if you didn't know about, now you do. Day two was pretty less than stellar, not a single bite. I could see them rising, and it was only this specific window of like 15 minutes. And by the time I decided to go Karachi, the window was gone. All the fish had gone deeper. I couldn't see anything out there. So, um, you know, that's just a me thing. Like I get onto a bait and I really I want to fish every angle and try different retrieves and really try and make it work before I move on. But I have to start keeping that in the back of my head. Like if the top water bites are on, then throw a top water. There's no sense in getting stuff that's like slow sink or more or less bottom of that reservoir. The X80 Junior, I think, will go down to like 8 or 9 feet, and that's pretty close to the bottom of that reservoir. If I had to venture a guess, I would say that that reservoir is not more than 10 feet. So there you go. There's that. As far as the casting, the X80 Junior, distance wise, is way better. There are weight transfer systems in the X70s, both great hunting and the BFS. But just that profile, that long, skinny profile, it catches too much wind. I found I did throw on the bass rod some of my trout, like the humpback, the great hunting humpback. That's a nice little jerk minnow for trout, and I tried it on bass, and it seems to cast better. And it's just because that weight gets more compact. Like the better, like the smaller the package with the weight going up, the better it will cast almost every time. It just pulls the line better. I could possibly try downsizing my line for the X70, but the 1.0 Go that I'm using works really well with everything else. So I don't really want to trade off pound test for one specific bait. So I think I'll keep the X70s as, trout angling, bigger, larger trout, and just keep up with the Karachi. Now the Karachi I know isn't technically a jerk bait, but that's how I use it, and that's how I think you get the best action out of it, is those quick downward whips will get that Karachi cutting across, and that it works. And if you don't know, if you fish aggressively, you're probably not aware that the Karachi is an extremely slow sinking. So you can play the water column. You just have to wait. And that's also a key thing to think about when you're fishing the Karachi, is just maybe do a couple jerks on the top and let it die. Give it a good 5-7 seconds to get in the strike zone, right? Depending on how deep your water is, maybe go even longer, 10 seconds. But then again, you're playing kind of what the bass want. If they're hungry, they're feeding. Doing this slow moving dying bait fish technique is probably not the best idea, because you can get those reaction strikes and you can cover more water if you're ripping those things through. So fish it fast, fish it slow, depending on what kind of the appetite of your local bass area is. And I think that's about it. You know, I went over the retrieves in the clips, so if you were paying attention, kudos to you. If you weren't, here's the recap. Quick downward snaps with your rod will get that cutting action, and usually I'll go like 1-2 or 1-2-3 and then let it pause for like 2 seconds at most. And usually, like, if I'm doing three downward snaps, I'll reel a little bit to keep that tension. And then there's the wag, right? You just kind of back and forth with a rod while you're reeling, and that just kind of gives it more or less kind of a glide bait action. And the other retrieve would be just the reel. You do these quick cranks, and it'll still give it that chop, but it'll give it a tighter chop. So, whatever you need to use. I think the downward snaps is more exaggerated, so that's really to draw the fish in. If you're not sure where they are, that's more of like a seeking technique. If you are placing the bait in the area of where you know a bass is, maybe just do that kind of wiggle retrieve, right? And that's if the appetite's up, because that's a constant retrieve while you're wiggling. So that'll make the bass give chase. If they're kind of sluggish, lethargic, then I would say best case is that third technique with just those little like quarter to half turn on the reel. Just bop, 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 bop. And that'll, it gives lethargic bass time to inspect, time to get up there, and then by the time you've cranked it that half turn, they're either going to strike or they're not. So those are my helpful hints. Get a jerk with a rattle in it, especially if it's stained water. I'm up to suggestions in the comments. If you know of some jerk baits that work really well, I would love to try them. I think that's going to do it, guys. Cool. All right. Until the next one, toss this tiny stuff. Toss the tiny stuff. Catch the big stuff. Hey, dopes out.